Hi everybody, welcome back onto the channel. I'm Kiki. Today we're going to do another version of a seamless color change for crocheting. Okay, so I've got a nice little circle here that once I do finish this next stitch, it's going to have 12 stitches around. So we'll go into stitch 12. I guess that's technically stitch 11, so then that's 11. And then you'd go through and do your last single crochet. Pull up, you've got your 2 loops on your hook. Don't complete it, don't yarn over again, but instead come over here with your next color of yarn. I like to do mine, I started out with a slip knot just so that it's a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier to grab onto and to lock down into place later. You don't have to. You can just slip through that color if you want. And then that part, this ends up being the completed portion of your next stitch. So then you can just go ahead and tighten your purple down, and then you're going to take your next color, take your hook out of your yarn, go into that first stitch of the next one, go front to back, and then come around here, grab onto that slip knot, and then pull from back to front. So you've got your one little hook or your one little loop on your hook. Go back into that same stitch and single crochet like normal. And that'll be the beginning of that band of color. So then you can go ahead and work your way around. Okay, so at this point, I've got 11 stitches of the green. We'll go in, we'll do our one last stitch in that in stitch 12, and then we're going to come back over here to stitch 1, pull that through, and then if you want to continue around, if your pattern calls for it, go around again. Okay, and then here's stitch 11 and 12. And I always like to finish mine off with just a nice little slip stitch at the top, so it makes it nice and smooth at the top so you don't have a nice step down. But then when you look at it, you can't really tell. I mean, you can tell a little bit with mine just because I used a much bigger hook gauge than necessary to go with this yarn. So you can tell my holes are pretty big. You can tell a little bit with my example. But once you get yours done with your proper hook size to match your gauge, you're barely going to be able to tell. All right, everybody, I hope that made sense. If it didn't, tell me down below. If it did, tell me down below. Tell me how long it took you to get it figured out, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.